The NASCAR playoffs are about to start, and you would think that we would be previewing what's happening in the postseason, but instead, we're going to be talking silly season rumors, including Ryan Preece might be heading to RFK, a third car might be in the works for Ford and RFK, and yes, the Alex Bowman rumors are ever rampant.
High, push it, checker flag, hell yeah!
What's the caution for? Me?
Can I not push it in?
Stop anybody.
He's going! Way to go, boys! One hell of a job, man, one hell of a job. Thank you so much.
Don't you just love it when drunk podcast hosts that are semi-retired make up rumors that turn out to be 100% inaccurate? Yeah, me too. Welcome on into Shifting Gears. I am Alan Bailey. I'm a little annoyed, but we are going to go ahead and talk about the rumor that was never a rumor and just drunk mumblings of some podcast hosts. And yes, we will talk about the latest rumors of RFK expanding to a third team in 2025. But before we do that, make sure that you mash that subscribe button so that you don't miss a video. And of course, log on to arnrace.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. So, let's go ahead and get the ugly stepchild out of the way. A certain podcast host may or may not have been under the influence when he blurted out some very inaccurate rumors that Alex Bowman might be out of the 48 car next year if he doesn't advance far in the playoffs. Now, this podcast host, although he was under the influence, didn't really elaborate, just kind of left it at that and left it vague, saying, oh, well, certain rides haven't been announced yet because of this, and may or may not have alluded to the 7-car over at Spire Motorsports. The theory or the incorrect rumor was that if Bowman doesn't advance out of the round of 16 and into the round of 12, if not higher, he would be out of his ride at Hendrick Motorsports and potentially going over to the 7-car at Spire in 2025. Full stop on those rumors immediately during Media Week for the playoffs, because Alex Bowman himself shut down those rumors, saying in part that he contacted management over at Hendrick Motorsports, and they straight up told him that there is no basis to this. It's 100% fabricated. He has a contract for next year. Rick Hendrick in the past has bought out people and drivers from their contract and gotten them out sooner than what he intended before, but I don't think that that's the case here. It's not like there's a young hotshot rookie waiting in the wings to jump up into the 48 car. Hendrick Motorsports, Jeff Gordon, Ally, they've all come out saying Alex Bowman is our guy. He's going to be our guy for at least another year, if not further than that. And I do think that that's the case. This is a good driver. Although he has been injured the last couple of seasons, he is starting to return to form. He picked up the win over at the Chicago Street Course race this last season and made the playoffs. And will he go far? I don't necessarily think so. I think a round of 12 is almost a lock, just given who else is in the playoffs. But I also think that this is a guy who's not going to necessarily make it into the round of 8, and definitely not the round of 4. Potentially he could make it into the round of 8, but that expectation isn't realistic for him or this team. For the organization it is, but not for Alex Bowman, and that's okay. You got to remember, he is on a team that is hands down one of the best in all of NASCAR history, and even when he is putting up really decent numbers, by comparison, when you're comparing him to the Jimmy Johnsons and the Jeff Gordons and even the Kyle Larsons of that organization, he's not going to stand up. Nobody's going to stand up to those unrealistic expectations. So I think we all just need to calm down on these rumors, because he's not going anywhere. Now, could he do something stupid and get kicked out of his ride? Yes, any driver could, but I think he's going to be in the 48 car next year, and you should really just stop listening to drunk podcast hosts that are semi-retired who barely show up for work as it is. Moving on, Ryan Preece might be on the move. Well, we know he's going to be on the move. Currently driving the number 41 Ford in 2024. We know that he's going to be out of a ride because Cole Custer's going to be taking over that ride for Haas factory team in 2025 when Stuart Haas goes away and they consolidate to a single car organization. However, the latest rumor, according to The Athletic, is that major sponsor Kroger is going to be jumping ship potentially over to RFK. And because they had a relationship with him back in the day, they might be bringing Ryan Preece over to a third RFK car. Like, this seems so out of left field. but a potential. There's no doubt about it. RFK has wanted to expand to a 3-car organization. The only thing that's really holding it up, charters. Plain and simple, charters. And I'm questioning what's in the current charter agreement or the offer from NASCAR. I think that there might be an expansion sometime down the road, or maybe RFK has a backup plan, because let's actually talk about this. The rumor is that this is coming out in the next month, but where's the charter coming from? Sincerely, where do you think it's coming from? Because I see two possibilities. Either the 31 in Colleague Racing is going to go ahead and lend that charter out or lease it out for a year, meaning that we will see a third RFK car and only a single Colleague car next year. That is a potential. The other potential is that the number 15 over at Rickware could be leased out over to RFK. I don't know about either of those, honestly. Those are just really the possibilities because both of those cars have yet to announce drivers for next season. And the 15 already has a relationship with RFK. They're essentially on the campus over there at RFK with Rickware, and there is a technical alliance between RFK and Rickware Racing. And we've seen that. We've seen the proof of that with Justin Haley really setting the world on fire with his runs in the number 51 this year. Will that mean that there's another alliance there potentially? I don't know. Like, I could see it, but at the same time, it's murky. There's also a possibility that RFK could run a third car as an open car, and I don't like that idea because I don't see any race team in 2025 saying, yeah, we're going to go ahead and lose multi-million dollars in prize money in order to run this car. I don't care what Kroger's paying you. It's not enough to make up that difference. I don't see this car running as an open car. The other option, the third option, is that something is up with NASCAR's current charter negotiations. Could there potentially be a future where NASCAR expands the charters or brings in more charters or makes more charters available? I get the sense that if it wasn't for the charter system, we could potentially be a 40-plus car field. The reason for that is because there are other cars that are running part-time. I think that RFK would have expanded by now. I think that 2311 would have expanded. I think that Trackhouse would have expanded by now to potentially 3 or 4 cars. We simply don't know what's in the offer that NASCAR gave the teams this week, according to multiple sources. NASCAR wants the charter negotiations buttoned up before the playoffs, but the playoffs are here, they are starting, and that deal's still not done yet. And nobody wants to talk about it. We saw some team members from 2311, particularly Curtis Polk, wearing a shirt that said, "Don't ask me about my charter, I don't want it taken away by NASCAR," and no one wants to talk about it right now. And I've heard rumors, but I can't confirm anything right now, so I'm going to go ahead and zip my mouth for the time being on these charter talks until things solidify a little bit more. Frankly, I don't want to get in trouble with NASCAR because, yes, that is the world we're living in. But I want to hear what you have to say. Do you think that Ryan Preece necessarily could end up at RFK? Do you think he should jump into another Cup car after, frankly, not having a whole lot of success in the Cup Series? What do you think about Alex Bowman and the rumors that he is out of the 48 car? I don't believe them at all. He debunked them 100%, but I want to hear from you. Go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. And while you're there, make sure that you mash that subscribe button so that you don't miss a video. And of course, log on to arnrace.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. I want to thank you so much for watching. For Shifting Gears, I'm Alan Bailey. We'll see you at the track.